Good evening. I would like to extend a big thank you to Tom Ponton for helping me to get started on a venture that I knew nothing about, fundraising. I want to thank Father James and the DeMatha family for this distinct honor. I also want to thank my wife Lee, because without her I could not possibly have done what we accomplished. I'm very humbled by this honor, but I must tell you that the greatest honor to be disposed is highlighting the needs of the orphan and vulnerable children of Zambia. A few years ago, as you've heard, my daughter Krista went to Zambia. And it's true, I actually had to go and check the map to find out where Zambia was. I'd never even heard of it before. And she went on a short mission trip. We went out to Dulles Airport to pick her up, and she came out of the area that she had just disembarked from the plane, with tears in her eyes. She said, "Daddy, that's where I belong." She proceeded to quit the job that she had just gotten after graduating from college and went to work for Family Legacy Missions. Shortly after that, she started working on me. "Daddy, you've got to go. You've got to see this." And of course, I came up with all kinds of excuses. "No, honey, I can't go. I'm too busy. I work for NASA. I'm too important. It's too hot there." A lot of twos, but none of them were reasons. And God had other plans. And I knew I needed to go when one day, while watching my daughter work, God spoke to me and said, "I'm using your little girl to get to you. Are you in or not?" And I knew I had to go. So I went, and it changed everything. Most notably, it changed my attitudes towards the poor. And most certainly towards the children who were trapped in profound and abject poverty beyond anything that I could have ever imagined or certainly witnessed in my own life. When I returned, the Lord continued to speak to me, and He chided me on the day that I was returning to work by reminding me of what I had said to people that would ask me, "Are you excited about taking a trip to Zambia?" And I would say, "Oh yes, but I'm getting ready to step out of my comfort zone." And His chiding went on to say, "Don't you think it's a little strange that you've been telling people you're one of my followers, that the very thing that I tell you in the book of James, that pure and genuine religion in the sight of God the Father means caring for orphans and widows in their distress, that which is nearest to my heart is not in your comfort zone." Well, I was crushed. I knew that I had to do more than just go and say, "Isn't this sad?" I knew I had to do something. So my wife and I committed to raising money to buy or to build a home. And it's true, we raised $80,000 in 10 months. And the truth is, people kept giving, and we raised over $100,000 in a year. We not only built the house, but we furnished it, and we had enough to take clothing to all the kids that were moving into the house. My wife and I traveled to Zambia for the opening of the house, which was like an adventure of extreme makeover, Zambian style. And now, Joseph and John and Bernard and Richard, Leighton and Olin, Newton and Peter, Rhoda, Veronica, Doris, and Selena, 12 children who now have a home and hope, a place of safety, joy, peace, and most of all, a place where they will learn about the love of Jesus that we talk about so much, and maybe to witness and live. I want to leave you with one thought. I work at the Goddard Space Flight Center. There's a number of buildings there, and there's one building I go into quite frequently. There's an elevator that is decrepit. I think it was built in the 13th century. I frequently get into that elevator and ask myself, why did I get in here? I'm going to get stuck in this thing. One day I actually thought it was going to happen, and I'm looking at the panel, and there was a button on the panel. And it said, when the light is flashing, help is on the way. And I started thinking, if I get trapped in this elevator, what's it going to be like? I mean, it wasn't my fault that I got trapped in the elevator. There'd be certainly nothing that I could do about getting out of it. You see, these kids in Zambia are trapped in a place they have nothing to do with the circumstances that put them there. And they're depending on others to hear that call that they need help. And to all those who helped building this house and many others that are in the process of being built. And for all of you who reach out to people when they are in need, you're doing so much more than you realize. I really do want to thank you for this honor. Tom, when you called me and told me what you were doing, I had no idea where you were going. And when you told me, I could have fallen out of the chair. I hung up the phone, closed my office door, and cried. Today, I thank God for this honor that you give to me, but more than that, I thank God for the honor of being pushed out of my comfort zones. Thank you very much.